Hello everyone, I'm Hilary Chin. Thank you all so much for coming and watching my YouTube channel. Today I'll be showing you how to use if statements in Excel, okay? And please don't be overwhelmed. We are going to take it gradually. Today we are just going to be looking at one condition, and in the other video we'll get more deeper with if statements, okay? Of course, many of you who wants to work with international organizations, UN, national organizations, these skills are very important, okay? They are very important. And please, as you watch, make sure you practice. So the if statement simply comes to decide, if you have a data, for instance, let's say you have a data from a school and the end of the year has come and they are trying to see those who have failed and passed. All you need to do is get the data of the amount of marks that children have, and maybe the threshold is 50 marks over 100, okay? And then you bring your if statement in the picture and then said if a child has 50 and above, then the child has passed. If not, the child has failed. In the same light, you can give three different conditions. If the child has 50 marks, from 50 marks to this range is pass. If the child has from this level to this level is average. If the child has from this level to this level is excellent. You know, those conditions. But today we are going to be looking just one condition because I don't want to overwhelm you. When we get to the next video, you would see how we are going to go detailedly to get these different options using if statements. Of course, those of you who are following, please make sure to like, make sure to share for your friends to watch. Each time you like a video, that video pops up for others to watch, okay? So that's the only help you can do for Nusemo Tech. Of course, let's jump in so I show you what I mean.
Yes, so doing if statements, it's very easy and also very practical. So make sure you have your machine, guys. So here, each time you get a data, you have to study the data to see how it looks, right? So here we have the activity column, and then here we have the organization type. Here we have number of boys, number of girls. So we're going to be totaling this here on this column. And then we want to find out the results, okay? We want to use if statement to determine a particular result in terms of target, okay? Which is our target here. I think it's 500 here that we have decided. And then also we are going to be looking at school result as well. So this one is a project result, this one is a school result. Here we are going to be looking at scores, okay? So the first thing we'll do here is I'm going to put equals to. Each time you want to perform an operation or calculation in Excel, you start with an equals to, okay? So we are going to put equals to this cell. We're going to reference plus this cell. If you have not watched our calculation and functions, go at the top of my head here and touch that video, or go to the comment section, or by the end of this video, you'll see that, okay? So you go to the playlist, it's there, and then I click my tab. Once I click, it already gives me the total here, and then I'll play with my mouse, it turns to this black cross, and then I share it there, then it shares the formula, okay? So this is relative reference, so it shares the other formula to all the other cells, and then it does the pluses, okay? So right here we have a total here, and we are saying that according to our project, for instance, our target was 500. Yeah, target means those we're supposed to reach, okay? So we have national NGOs here. They were supposed to do activities in wash, protection, and also education, right? So there's a target they were looking out for. They wanted to reach out to 500 children, boys plus girls, right? And then this is what we have here. So we want to get the result, assuming that we had more than 1,000 columns here, for instance, no rows. For instance, these are our rows. We had more than 1,000 right down. We want to determine the result according to this project. So we want to say equals to if statement, and we click our tab on our machine. So we want to give a logical test. We want to say that if this total children here, are you getting that, is more than. Now to get more than on your keyboard, you have to press shift and you click a small sign that shows more than. If this cell is more than this 500, so we want to reference. So we are referencing this cell. We can still write 500. Let's start by writing the 500, okay? 500, comma, then we want to see reached. It means we want to see we have reached our target, and we close our quotations, okay, comma, if not reached. It's very, very simple, guys. What I'm asking Excel to do for me is, Excel, if this total here, according to National NGO, according to this particular activity, according to this total here, if this total has gone above this particular target 500, which I've written here physically, comma, then I want to see reached. It means that we have reached our target. If not, another comma, I open my quotations, and then I want to see not reached. Okay, and then I'll close my bracket and I click enter. You see, so it gives me not reached, and then I share this formula. I allow my stuff to turn to this black cross, and then I share it here. You see, so here this total is more than 500, this one is more than 500, this one is more than 500, and then this one is less than 500. This is very, very important. But now there is something I want to show you here. We are cheating this man here because this man is at least 500. You see, so here is at least 500, so we need to have reached. It means we have reached. So what do? We go back to our formula here, we double click, and then instead of putting greater than 500, we will put greater than 499. Okay, so we are just left with 1 to make it 500. I will click OK, and then I'll come here now and I double click. You see that this 500 now turns to reached because we have now said anything that is about 499, which is 500. So it starts counting from 500 and then picks this one and said reached. So these are some detailed when it comes to calculations in Excel, okay, that you have to master. Okay, especially you don't need to be a mathematician. You just need to be someone who is versed and play around and study simple arithmetic around your data sets. Okay, don't forget all these crazy formulas they taught us in school here and there, find x, find all that. I'm not against that, but you see that what you need to perform simple solutions like this, you don't necessarily need to be a further math student. Okay, you just need to understand some of these very practical things, and you can only understand it when you practice. So right here we are done with that, and you can see that we have it here very clear. Also, as a school teacher, for instance, you might want to get results. Okay, and let's say the result that you want to get here is that you want every child should have at least 500 marks. 500 marks is average, or above 500 is passed, and below is failed. So you simply do the same thing. You go to your equals to, click your if statement, click your tab, and then you come and reference the same cell and say if this cell, okay, is greater than this 500 here. Are you seeing now? Remember when we're here we wrote the 500 physically. Now we want to reference, and I'll show you the advantage of referencing here. If this particular total here, which is F2, is greater than this J2, which we have referenced here, comma, then we want to see passed. Okay, we close, comma. If not, we want to see the other failed, the other option failed, and then I close my bracket, right, and I click tab. Now you see that this one is less than 500, so we see fail here. So I'm going to play with my mouse, it turns to this black, and I share it down here. Okay, so now you see that everyone here has passed because they are above 500, but there's something that is happening here. This man is not above 500, this particular man is not above 500. So what is happening here? If it's greater than this, then okay, good. You know what is happening? So there is what you call absolute reference and relative reference. So why this formula is coming down and changing, what is happening is that it is picking these empty cells and then doing analysis. So it is saying that what is here is greater than what is in these empty cells. Okay, so if I want to share this 500 to all of these options, because we are referencing this, comparing it with only this 500. Are you getting now? So what we are going to do, we are going to come here again. Since we have referenced this particular cell, it gives us J2. We are going to come here and put our dollar sign. We put $sign here, and we put a $sign also here. Now the idea, we'll click OK. Now the idea is that when I share it again like this, you see what happened? Perfect. Now it shows that this 500 is below this 500 because above is failed. This 900 is above this, so it's passed. This 620 is above this, so it's passed. This 500, 150 is below this, so it failed. So what happened here is, if I double click in any of this cell, you see that $J and $2 has not changed. It is absolute. So it is repeating the same cell all across, because I've put $sign in front of J and $sign in front of 2. Are you seeing now? So I can be able to share. So relatively, it would have been changing as we saw. Okay, so now what is referencing here is this particular cell. What is referencing here is this particular cell. What is referencing in all of these cells here is this particular cell. Now there's another thing I want to show you. If I simply come here and I double click and I say 499, you see automatically this man here changes. This cell here changes, because it starts now from 500 upward. If I come here again and I say 300, you see it keeps changing, because I kept changing my targets. Here I kept changing my target, because remember that we only reference this cell. So if I remove everything here, you see that it says pass, because every total here is above 0. Or I can still put 0 here. Are you seeing now? If I come here and I put 1000, you see that it kept changing. If I come here and I put 200, it kept changing. So it comes now and compare and say, okay, 150 here, the only amount here that is lower than 200 is 150. So we see fail here. Are you seeing now? So this is the advantage of just referencing. But at the, previously I had to write 500. Okay, for instance, if I come here and I write the 500 again, sorry, if I come here and I write 500 again, now it takes us back to our previous marks that we had and our previous results. So if I come here and I double click and I want to change this, I can just come here and then I put the 500. Okay, 500, and I click OK. Now it can give me the value without me necessarily putting any $sign, because the 500 will go around and share itself with all the cells. Okay, so these are some of the differences and some of the really detailed understanding you were supposed to know so far as if statements are concerned. So I just hope that this video helps you, and I hope that you are following very carefully and learning some of the details with working with if statement. Okay, in our next video we'll do if statement, double if statement, and you see how that works. Thank you.